Come, let us recite from the Dzogchen Sunday teachings of Garab Dorje, and then savor effortless meditation. Quick like a bunny, I wish to hit copy. We'll begin with the 9th of 11 verses of Refining Ore into Gold. Those who rely on logic, the true traditional forms of benefit of oneself and others, and apply the doctrinal views to stabilize the three meditative contemplations, remain deluded. We deviate from the so-called indisputable teaching by abiding effortlessly in the spontaneously self-perfected bliss free from activities. I'm going to add a parentheses here. I'm going to remove the bold and there we go. The essence of the great self-originated pristine awareness is unchangeable and unshakable beyond all designations. It is the nectar of the natural perfection that eliminates the misery of contrived exertion. Abide just like that, free from activities in the already accomplished dimension. Okay, now we come to this morning's third passage. As all phenomena have the nature of the mind of perfect purity, the great sphere without limitation, is neither elaboration nor abbreviation, neither arising nor ceasing. Unobstructed, pristine awareness abides just like that. This natural intrinsic reality, free of the tyranny of our discursive thinking, abides timelessly, like space, beyond the conceptual realm and conceptual designations. We now come to the fifth of 5 texts of this collection of 5 treatises, the Unwaning Victory Banner, also known as the Vast Expanse of Vajrasattva. One moment, if you please. Okay. The vast expanse of Vajrasattva is the ever-perfect dimension of reality. As it is all liberating, this pure and universal sphere is unproduced, unobstructed, and inconceivable. One, two, three. Here we go. Whoopsie, my mistake. Fabulous. Having completed our opening recitation, it's time for us to shift gears. It is Rey Skywalker Sunday morning. Let us meditate like a Jedi after about 30 seconds of housekeeping. Woof. This is the Dzogchen Semde Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. For the remainder of this morning's live stream, together as a team, to sit and breathe and practice mindfulness and meditation. Meditation is easier than you and I have been led to believe. Excuse me. Oh, that's right, kids. All class, all the time. Okay. You see, every moment we have a choice. Do we passively cooperate with our autonomic nervous system, or do we actively compete against it? What could the second look like? Well, it looks like us actively focusing, actively focusing and actively analyzing by depending upon our dorsolateral and medial prefrontal cortex. When we do that too much, when we do that more than we have evolved to, when we exhaust the front of our brain, we set ourselves up to begin presenting with symptoms of depression, no less triggering our amygdala, the seat of both anxiety and aggression. Excuse me. Fortunately, neither our amygdala nor our prefrontal cortex constitute the entirety of our central nervous system. Consider, if you will, the humble spinal cord. Its fancy name is autonomic nervous system. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we've evolved to automatically access this middle bit, which is known as our sympathetic nervous system. It has evolved to help us to notice in a very special way, to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly mind's antics, of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Whether that which we notice is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. That's a lot. So the question arises, what do we do with that which we noticed during our inhalation? Simple. Every time we exhale, we have evolved to automatically access the bottom bit and the very top bit for spinal cord, kind of like bookends. This is known as our parasympathetic nervous system. Fancy name. It has evolved to help us to physically relax and mentally release to such a degree that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, and less defining. And if you prefer figures of speech, could cause that which we noticed during our previous inhalation to fleetingly feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Now, a simile is only as useful as it is relatable. Therefore, we have to ask the question, to adjust my space heater, what is a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? Well, how about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless day, which although could look tantalizing to the eye, feels non-graspable to our hands. So this whole thing about emptiness or not self or birthlessness or deathlessness or selflessness, these are our timelessness. These are just metaphors for our body's automatic experience of momentarily letting go during each exhalation. We have been conditioned by society to resist this and to actively compete against it by the aforementioned mechanism. Fortunately, when we do passively cooperate with our autonomic nervous system, automatically it begins calming our amygdala and gently stimulating the anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy. This is why the late Tulku Thondup insisted that the highest love was the spontaneous and uncontrived byproduct of simply practicing mindfulness and meditation. So I've said all that to say this. The essence of mindfulness is to simply watch mind's antics. The essence of meditation is to simply rest in mind's fleetingly empty nature. How do we do that? Every time we feel our chest swell with breath, we could silently and mentally recite the verb watch. Every time we feel our chest subtly sink as we exhale, we could silently and mentally recite the verb rest. Watch and rest. Inhalation, exhalation. Together as a team, let us sit and breathe and watch and rest. Oh, yes. I appeared to be the mayor of mucus this morning. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions about once every 15 minutes or so. You might find it helpful to rest the great knuckle at the base of your right middle finger upon the tip of your left middle finger, palms up in your lap. Some people squeeze their eyes tight. Some people relax their eyelids. Some people open their eyes wide. Some people hold their eyes at half-mast. Some gaze at the earth. Some gaze at the horizon. Some gaze at the sky. Some people say there's only one way to meditate and every other way is wrong. Exercise the courage to listen to your body's ever-changing needs. I will say that the three gazings of earth, horizon, and sky do not come from the teachings of the Buddha or the teachings of Garab Dorje, also known as Prahe Vajra. They come from a Tibetan shamanism known as Bon. I'm not denigrating Bon, I'm just making a distinction. Bon is not what Garab Dorje taught. Neither is Mahamudra. Neither is Anu Yoga or Maha Yoga or Tokal or Tikle. He just taught Treksho. He just taught sitting and breathing and watching and resting. Doing so is the quick path of enlightenment. Adding stuff to it just slows it down. After years of study and practice, when I finally stumbled upon the teachings, the direct original teachings of Garab Dorje, I was delighted, for it proclaimed that which I had suspected and intuited for years. That ritualism was slavery, unproductive, and harmful. That there are no prerequisites, there are no complex stages, there is no path, there is simply cooperation with our autonomic nervous system. The more we cooperate with our autonomic nervous system in the form of mindfulness and meditation, the seventh and eighth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, the more we find ourselves automatically practicing the remaining six folds. What if enlightenment was nothing fancy? It just described our mastery of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. What could mastery mean? Simply getting so good at something, whether that something be using the toilet, washing our hands, brushing our teeth, tying our shoes, riding a bike, or sitting and breathing and watching and resting. Getting so good at that one thing that we practice it spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. This is why the Buddha taught one could master his path in as little as 7 days. This is the original sudden enlightenment. If you've just tuned in, we are sitting. As we inhale, we are watching mind's antics. As we exhale, we are resting into the fleeting experience of non-graspability. The easiest way to do this is to silently and mentally recite the verb watch every time we inhale and the verb rest every time we exhale. There is no there is no need to force ourselves to watch and rest, for we are already wired to do that. Our job is simple, to passively cooperate with our latent tendencies to do so. The most efficient way to do that is to silently and mentally recite watch and rest during our respective inhalations and exhalations. Yes, Virginia, it's good to give others the benefit of the doubt. However, when people work hard to show you what they are or who they are, believe them. When a so-called spiritual leader works hard to show you that they are cruel and ignorant, believe them. Thank them for their vulnerability and be on your way. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In about 3 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's brunch, recitation, as well as effortless meditation. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.